Good evening. This is a meeting of the Cemetery Commission. I'm Shirley Cooney. To my right is Debbie Hines, and to my left is Betsy Youngsmer. And we have a guest this evening. Sarah, would you like to come up to the table, please?
Sure. I have some documents to pass out to everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And hopefully they're all in the right order. All right.
Okay, so, you want to give us a brief description?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah,
So-
introduce yourself, Sarah,
Alright.
for the camera.
Okay, so for the record, I'm Sarah Guymond. I live on A Street. We did a little bit of work in Pine Grove Cemetery, on the corner of Fay and Cemetery. Just a basic overview. I was actually helping Sue Perkins with the marker survey, so I was doing a lot of visiting to the cemetery. Starting around, actually, I think we started that around April. I happened to meet her at a preservation workshop in Burrillville that we were both taking, and we just got on the topic of Pine Grove, and somehow that came up, and I said, oh, I live right near there, and she said, oh, I'm doing the marker survey, so I volunteered to help her a little bit with that, just documenting and so forth.
Sure.
So while I was out there in August, I noticed that there was a monument that was sunken very far into the ground. There was only maybe about an inch and a half above the grass. I have photographs as well, so I can show you those. At that point, when I noticed it, I noticed that it was also around the same size when I measured it as were the Civil War markers. I made a post that I suspected that that's what it was in one of the Facebook groups. And by the way, I put the flag there. There was no flag there originally.
We have issues on the flag. So
Right. And I don't think, probably people thought that was a footstone. It was so sunken and,
Wow.
almost
Yeah.
underground.
There's
It was
a lot
almost-
of them like that, I think.
Right.
I've seen throughout all the cemeteries.
Yeah. Over time, I guess they just, with the freeze thaw and all that, they kind of sink down. So, I'd made a post on Facebook and, a bunch of people commented, people were interested in it. Betsy commented and, she actually ended up coming to meet me at the cemetery and
Did you
we
say
took a
Betsy?
closer look
I did.
at it and this is what it looked like after I did a little digging around it
Nice.
to expose the face of it.
You got the dates on there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did
You
put
mean
the
it sunk down this way?
Yeah, it sunk straight down almost. I've never seen one that's gone down so straight. I mean, usually they'll kind of lean and they'll,
I
fall
thought-
that way, but it was really like just down.
Down in
I thought
a
it was
black
laying,
hole,
it
in a
had
black hole.
fallen over, and the,
No, it was right in the ground. It was almost disappearing, as you
black
can
hole.
see in those
Yeah.
photos. Right. And
Yeah.
so we went out and took a look at it. On the 25th of August, it was a Saturday, Adam Furno and his family came out, and they raised it and they reset it. So this is it after he got it out of the ground. I don't have any pictures of the process. He did take some and they're on Facebook.
yes, they are.
So,
I
yeah.
have them,
Oh,
and I
okay.
think I sent them to you too, Betsy.
So this is it, once it was
Sing it.
raised, and this is before it was cleaned. So I did clean it afterwards. I used D2.
nice.
Yeah, what happens, as I understand, is the wood, the boxes over all these years, and they were just wood
Right,
is disintegrating, and there's nothing there. You know, so there is like a black hole.
right.
It just sinks. Yes,
Yep. So I did use D2 to clean it.
that's lovely.
Basically, it's a biological cleaner. It's non-toxic. It's not harmful to anything. It won't kill the grass.
That's lovely.
And I give you a little printout on that just so you can see what that's about in case you're not
Yeah.
familiar with it. And then this is how it came out afterwards. It's nice and white. It's probably about the whitest
Oh,
stone in
wow.
there now. I can actually see it now from the street because it's so bright. You can catch it from a mile away. So this is an actual. This is like the before it got reversed, but that's the before and that's the after, so.
Oh, wow.
You can see it was
Send that
quite a
one.
difference.
Thank you.
Yep. And so while we were doing that one, we actually noticed when Betsy came out and met me in the cemetery that the one that was directly next to that one, it was an infant. It's infant Parsons.
No relation.
Was no relation,
No.
nope. But it was sunken down, and this was the only part you could see was that. So that one was actually like almost like a loose tooth. It just kind of
That's right.
popped right out of the ground. So we pulled it up that day, and I washed it down. I recorded the inscription in the marker survey. I also put it on Find a Grave. And then this last picture is when I
Great.
washed the stone.
That's good to have
there's-
those pictures of just
Yeah.
a little piece of it showing.
Right,
Yes.
and there's
great.
more of that one. This is the same, but there's more in the paperclip if you want to take a look. It's just the same pretty much. And
Great.
then there was one more that I did, and this one I did on my own. I had noticed, originally when I was doing the marker survey that this one was unreadable. It was down, basically falling forward and sunken, so you couldn't see anything except for the relief cross on it on the front, and that was all you could see. It was this, and this picture I actually took laying on the ground, so my camera is on the ground here underneath the stone, so this is what it looked like from the top. It
Oh,
was just
wow.
like, it was leaning down, you couldn't see any information on who it was. It's in the front section, closest to cemetery in Gilboa, which is mainly children, so I ended up taking a trowel and digging that one out. And I ended up,
So both of these are infants.
yep, yeah,
Yeah.
one is
Can you
Peter
understand
Gilbert.
the inscription on that one on the bottom there?
Yes.
Can you read it?
Yep,
Okay.
I did.
all
I
right.
was able to read
'Cause some
it.
of them are really lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
I was able to read it, and it was a pretty common one that I had seen before, so
alright.
that helped as well,
'Cause
because I
some of it-
recognized a few
yeah.
words, and I'm like, oh, there we go.
And some are extremely personal.
Right. And then this one is the one that I showed you here with the cross. So this part that's green from, algae and that kind of thing. And that was the only part that was above the ground, is where
Wow.
from where it's green up, and then everything else was underneath the ground.
And just out of curiosity, how long does it take you to clean? What are these
Not very
stones?
long. As far as like just the cleaning,
Well, what do you use? I mean, I know the solution you use.
Right.
Do you use a toothbrush? or what do
I
you
use a nylon brush that I have. It's just like a soft nylon scrub brush, like that you'd get, at the dollar store or wherever.
Oh, okay,
So yeah,
okay.
and the D2. The D2 I ordered from Atlas Preservation, so that's like kind of a specialized thing that I don't know where else you get it, but I ordered it online.
You can order it from Amazon too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, somewhere online usually.
Get
so-
everything like that through Amazon.
Right. And then this is when I was washing
Nice
it.
one.
So it's like kind of soaked up, and actually
Yes.
while you're washing it, it's really good to be able to see the inscription while it's being washed, because it kind of fills the letters for you a little
Yeah,
bit when it's
yeah,
getting
that's
washed.
right.
So that was it when it was being
All I
washed.
can make out is son of Peter
Yep.
and something
I think
and
it's,
something days.
yeah, right. It's hard to see that one, but it was Peter, son of Peter and Philomene Gilbert, and he died September 1st, 1861, which is strange because I actually dug it up on September 1st of this year. And he
Wow.
was aged 1 year and 3 months and 24 days.
Interesting.
And then this is just the during picture. I basically just had a bucket of gravel, a couple gallons of water I brought in to wet the gravel so I could pack it down,
Yep.
and pretty much just packed it down around the stone.
I'm
at
so
the
glad.
base.
Very nice.
I'm so glad you came. That's lovely.
Yes.
And this is just a shot from the back, so once it's up and reset, this is what we had before for the back.
Very nice.
We had
Yeah, they're beautiful.
after.
Yes.
And then this is after it was in the ground and it was reset. It still had a lot of staining on it, but that D2 actually works like more over time. So
Well, the
like
sun
as it
will
sits
help.
in the sun,
Yes.
right.
Yep.
So the stains actually bleached out, and that's the final picture where it's, well, I shouldn't say bleached, but cleaned out
Very
with the
nice.
D2. So it looks white again, and this is where it started, and this is where it finished, so it's,
Wow.
yeah. So
Very nice.
quite a difference. So, yeah, and I
And they're
wrote,
in those stones are in good shape.
yeah, they are. It's funny
Yeah.
because I think the ground actually protects them a little bit, you know, where they're not exposed to pollutants and the stuff in the air. And apart from, you know,
the
getting hit by a lawnmower,
pollution,
they,
yes, yeah,
you know.
yeah,
The acid rain.
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
right. And then there was just a couple that I just cleaned up. No digging, no resetting. They were green because they're right under one of the trees there, so
yeah.
they're always really dark and hard to read. So
Very nice.
just gave them a nice
I
wash.
hope you come every so often to show us.
Yeah,
That would be really nice.
Yeah, they're
Alright.
beautiful, just beautiful, thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome, and you can keep the photos.
Wonderful.
We can?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
thank you.
Sure. Yep, so you can have those for your records. And so basically, this is just like telling you what stone it was. I
Well,
left
The
blanks.
more we know about it, you know, the more you can be appreciated too.
Right.
Yes. You will be in our annual report.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, so this just basically tells you the dates and who did what for each
Yeah.
thing. And I should thank Adam Furno for coming out on a Saturday with his family and doing that. He did a really good job.
He did.
He even raked the dirt when he was done. I was like, oh, wow.
It was very impressive.
Yeah. Yep, so he did a good job on that, and, you know, they look really great. They're
Is it true what I
probably the
hear,
best
from what I
looking stones.
understand, there's a lot of French people buried in
There is. There's
Pineborough?
quite a few. Yep, especially in the front. The front closest to the Gilboa Street corner there. There's a lot of French children, so that's almost all of the markers in that front corner are in French. But I mean, I guess I know enough French to be able to record the dates and
Yeah.
you know get by on that. But
If you go to that museum in, is it Woonsocket or where is that Workers Museum in Rhode Island?
Slater's. The Slater's
Is
one?
it Slatersville?
I think so.
It's the Workers, what is it called, the Workers Museum?
Yeah,
It's
something like that.
something.
I think it's in Slater's Mill.
Yeah.
No?
I took-
Yeah.
No, it isn't. I don't
Oh,
think
'cause
it's
I
in,
know
is
there's
it
a
in a mill?
museum in
I
there.
went there years ago. I took my grandchildren there. And you know, they're in their 20s now and they remember. Remember,
yeah.
Grandma,
Yep.
when you took me there? And I said, you know, I vaguely do, you know. It's,
Yeah.
it's like it was a long time ago. They remembered and they were really impressed. But it's true, from the mill industries, a lot of French, of course, Rhode Island.
right.
Huge immigration. Yeah,
The
huge
Shepherd Church.
immigration, yeah.
All of
yeah.
those were French.
All the mill workers, yeah. Well, it's interesting because I had a friend of mine who, she teaches at one of the big colleges, and she said that the conversation came up about immigration. And of course, it was the assumption of the class, I guess, that of course immigration was from the South.
Oh.
And she said, well, wait a minute. She said, my grandparents were illegal immigrants, of course, from Canada,
Oh wow.
you know? And she said they just came and they started to work and they never went back,
Oh yeah.
you know? So she said, so I'm a descendant of illegal immigrants. So.
Wow.
But thank you very much.
Thank you very
Absolutely.
much.
You're very
Give
welcome.
that back, please.
Yeah, you can keep all of them.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
We should, you know, because sometimes we have to go before the finance board and the board of selectmen.
We should
Right.
get
And
a
it's nice
binder
to have
put
a
them
little
in.
education to go along, you know, and to at least be
Do they have
appraised
preservation binders?
of what's,
No, you can just buy them at Walmart.
No, I know regular binders, but,
Just regular binders.
oh, okay.
anyway.
You can just
I
put 'em in
thank you very
sleeves.
much.
You're welcome.
I
Anytime.
appreciate that.
Thank you for
That
having
was
me.
great.
Thank you for coming. Talk to you
No
soon.
problem. Thanks. Yeah. We'll
Do you
talk
need a
to you soon.
camera, Sarah,
Oh,
to take pictures? I have some extra cameras.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh,
Good, I'll give them to you.
sure. Yeah, because I mean, I don't even have a computer. I have my cell phone. So, but I mean, if there's a way I could download them, then absolutely.
Yeah, nope, I'll give you a camera.
Thank you,
All
dear.
right, great.
Very, very
Thank
much.
you. Have a good night.
Yes,
Bye.
you too, dear. Thanks again. Excuse me.
Okay,
All right.
you ready to
lost
do the
mine.
minutes?
Yeah, wait a minute. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Here we are.
Okay, July 24th.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I have a question. Shirley starts the conversation by asking about the community work that the Masons do. After she explains to her about the Sibley plot.
All right, one second, where are you? You lost.
Oh, and underneath the
Oh.
Sibley plot,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I
what
got
we are
it.
looking for
I
them
got
to
it.
do. What did you want them to do?
It's, well, because it's theirs. In other words, they are responsible for that plot.
It's got those, I don't know,
Have you-
you know, those big plants
The
that
the
grow?
yucca plants.
Yes.
And just clean it up. I mean, it's so overgrown.
The yucca
I
plants
thought it was kind of
disturb.
nice. I went down there and walked all over the cemetery. I thought it looked nice. I did.
Okay.
I mean, they're big.
The yucca plants are disturbing the masonry is what happens.
Okay.
If you, then that's not the name, but it's the common name.
You
Okay.
mean those yucca plants?
The things.
They're the ones
The-
that are uprooting stones, is that what you're saying?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, see, I never knew about those plants until I moved up
Because
here.
they've been there, they used to put them on cemeteries, I
Okay.
mean, 200 years ago. So what happens is, this root structure is so large and wooded that it, oh, if you go into Douglas Center Cemetery, you'll see the damage they've
Oh,
done
there's a
there.
ton of them in there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think they're fine. They don't bother me at all.
Well, talking to plantsmen, what they say is that it's, in other words, you're going to have more damage. Okay? The recommendation by, in fact, a couple of plantsmen was, you know, they're not good to have.
So what do you want them to take them out?
Take them out, yeah.
Well, because that should have been in the minutes. Why wouldn't I said?
Well, what I
Looks good to
wanted
me.
them to do is assess the situation, is to see if they had enough manpower to go down and take a look at it and see what they could do. So that they could, the stones are a little bit wonky, so they really need to be reset. And what it is there's nothing there, you know what I mean? It looks like, and the main memorial stone could have some work done to it.
Well, it's black. I mean, they're all black
Yeah.
down there, though.
Right.
You better
So the
look.
question to them was, are you interested in doing it? That's all.
Well, I just didn't know what you wanted them to do. Because like I said, it looked fine to me.
Well, the most offensive are those plants because of the damage they do by the root structure with the stones.
And they're lifting up the stones.
They're lifting them up and either, you know, you've got them like this and like this.
It's far
And then the
worse
wall,
ones
that
somewhere
wall
else.
at Douglas Center, I mean, there's a lot of damage there with moving stones because of root structure of old plantings. So personally, you know, we got the advice of plantsmen.
Who
What
went
do we
down and
do?
looked at it?
We had
Full circle?
Full Circle look at it, and because he's not interested usually in telling us to remove anything. And then he had someone
Yeah,
come out to talk about the yucca plants or whatever their, I don't know what their Latin name is. There is a name, but I can't remember
Because
it.
he's tree, right? Full circle tree.
Yeah.
So they went down and looked at him, and they said that the
Well,
the
they've
yucca
been
plants
there.
were moving the stones around.
Well, go look yourself.
I did.
You don't see that they're interfering with the stones? Because there's more than that one. But that's South Street. But in Douglas Center, there's a lot of,
The erosion of all the ground moving down is tilting them all forward. I think that's.
and then
worse.
that, what is the name of that? Is it a locust that we had him take out of there on that big plot?
In
The
Douglas
one with the
Center?
big, thorns on them. What was,
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a locust tree.
Yes.
yeah, they got.
With the big
finally,
things on it.
yes.
In the Douglas Center you're talking
Yes,
about?
yes. So finally, at least the last time I looked, they'd got to the root of it. It took years to get rid of it. You know, and that's another one that uproots the stones, so. And I don't think that was planted there. I think it sort of just arrived and did its own damage.
Oh, yeah, well, the birds go through it.
So I think the last time we looked, there was no growth there, was there?
No.
And that, of course, is like people that go in and work in the cemetery, you take your life in your hands because it rips you. He sends his young helpers in, I guess, to do it. Because he said they're nasty to deal with. You know, I think the thorns are like 3 inches. And you know which one I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, what am I at?
right in the old
Little
section.
tiny leaves. Little tiny.
But it's huge tree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
A locust tree?
That's what it's called, the locust. And I had no experience with it. I had known nothing about it.
I came from a town that everything was maple trees and linden trees.
Well, now you get recommendations from plantsmen as to what to put in cemeteries that will not offend the rest of the. Well, primarily they don't want you to put anything, but they just want. And you go into a well-maintained cemetery with a landscaper there, and there's nothing there. Just shade trees around the main section, which is what we're trying to do. You know, we're trying to get rid of the invasive stuff and have some stuff that's just surrounding it. We have a list somewhere in our files of all the things that should be taken care of. That, of course,
I went down and looked at the tree.
We can't, the dead tree?
The dead tree, and I talked to John Fernal, and he said if his men can take it down, he will go down and look at it, and he will have them take it down.
Oh, the one in South Street?
Yep.
That's great.
Well, I don't want to get into this. We're going to have some repercussions. Anyway, next item.
Now, are there any more questions on these minutes?
Nope.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the minutes of July 24th as written.
Second?
So moved.
Okay.
Okay, next is the minutes of 8/24, excuse me, 8/28.
You sent something to plot owners?
Oh, yes, I was gonna say when I gave the secretary's report.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Okay, any questions?
I do have some questions.
Okay.
What is the Greater Worcester Foundation?
Shirley, could you explain? I mean, I
Yeah,
know what
it's
it
a-
is, but I,
It is a fund for anyone that wishes to place money in it. You can use, we have gifts that are sent to the organization from people. And you can use the interest.
Okay, and
All right,
what
so
does
it grows.
What does it do with it?
It's for the Greater Worcester Foundation. In other words, it just builds. It just stays there.
So the cemetery has money in this foundation?
Yes.
yes.
And how much money is in it?
Well, we get a report. Have you got a report?
Yes, I do, 1 sec.
And they pay interest on this?
We can touch the, it's like the CD with this, we can touch the interest, but we can't. I do have, okay, the most recent report, which was fund statement for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2018. And the date, the fund type is designated, and the date it was established is 8/4/1999. The beginning fund balance is $50,585.31, and the ending fund balance is $50,000. If you'd like, I can give you a copy of this.
Oh, that's good, I can just write it down.
Okay. The ending fund balance is $50,679.59, and the investment, the interest after the investment management and custody fee is $350.04.
So the town, so people pay money for the plots, and then you put it
No,
all into
no,
the
no,
Worcester?
no.
No,
No,
this has
it's totally
nothing to do
separate.
with that. The monies, when people buy plots, the money that they buy gets turned over to
The town.
the
The town.
treasurer. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We don't get any of that. That's
Who
nothing.
pays the lawnmower bill?
We
Our
do.
budget that
We do, in the
that we're
budget.
given.
Okay,
We're allotted
we're a
so
separate
much a
entity.
year.
okay.
If we had a Department of Public Works, we would not be in existence. It would be all the highway department and the parks department would handle it all. But we're a separate entity. We have a separate budget.
Okay.
And we can't join with them because of the structure. In other words, we don't have what we call, like most of the towns around us have a Department of Public Works.
And we're not big enough. They
Well,
want,
there was
well,
a
to
question on that.
encompass a town, in most cases, Department of Public Works, where you can also get the grants and everything, it has to be a certain size. And
What size?
a couple of thousand employees.
Uxbridge has a Department of Public, they don't have a couple thousand.
Okay, well, that, I'm saying as
And
far
the
as.
town has to be
you- but-
willing. Up to this
Yes.
point, it hasn't
They have a
been willing.
Department of Public, they have no
Yeah.
public cemeteries though.
Uxbridge?
Nope, none.
Really?
Nope, those are all private.
But in other words, it is unfortunate because it exempts us from applying for grant money.
Okay.
That's
We
right.
can't apply for grants because there has to be an overseer for the Department of Public Works. And we have no one that is involved with that.
Okay.
And we've talked about it.
Yeah.
I went to several meetings about 3 years ago. No one's really interested in doing it. Which, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face, but. So we continue with this back and forth, struggling to do little bits. But no, that money that goes into the Worcester Foundation,
Well, where did the original money come from?
gifts,
From,
individuals.
Different people,
Who gave it
family
to the-
members.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they pass away in their will, oftentimes, and that's the way it's been for quite some time, is that people leave a chunk of money. Whether it's 5, 10, 20, and it goes to the Worcester Foundation. I know with one particular party, it was that it was earmarked the interest money was to be used for the upkeep of the cemeteries.
Okay.
That was just one party. Okay? So that opens the floodgates, or the gate, for instance, so that if we found ourselves in a situation that we needed $300, $400, $500 in a pinch, which can be because of the amount of money we get.
And the foundation itself does well, you could look it up online. They have all kinds of things to help kids
Yeah.
and homeless
Education.
and veteran and, yeah, education.
Education.
It's really, I was shocked when I went on the website to see everything that they did.
Yeah. And it's a safe place to put money.
Okay.
No, you know, they're going to invest in safe issues, so. So I think that you can always rely on it. It's always going to be there. So,
Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the minutes of 8/28, 2018 as written.
Oh, I have to second it.
so moved.
Okay. Well, we can't talk about the walkabouts because the one you can make and the other one, I think we all just kind of,
I did mine.
you did yours, okay. Well, would you like to share with us what you think? Let me
Well, she
just
talked
write
about,
this.
she's not offended by the yucca
No, I think it
plants.
looks great down there. Beautiful. The yucca plants don't bother me
Okay.
at all,
All right.
or whatever those things are.
Okay, is there an,
You know, and I looked at the tree. I think the tree probably is dead. And like I said, I talked to John Furno, and he said if they think that they
Yeah,
can take it
well,
down, they can take it down.
Dewey said it was dead a year ago or 2 years ago,
Yep.
whatever.
So
So,
I'll wait to hear from him and see
Yeah.
what he says. You know.
okay. Is there anything else that you think we can, work on in South Street from what you saw? Yeah, these are all just possible ideas for the upcoming season.
well, I know with the spreading of that loom that's been there a while.
Well, that's Douglas Center though.
Right.
Yeah,
We're
that's
talking
not the
about
same
South
cemetery,
Street
but what
right
I'm
now.
saying is, now that it's coming into the fall, you don't have to worry. So now's the time, hopefully, to get that done, you know?
Okay.
Oh, the pile?
Yeah.
Oh, the pile's growing nicely. It's got nice plants growing in it.
Fertile, fertile,
It's like,
fertile.
Welcome to the jungle of Douglas. You got the Douglas State Forest down the road, and on 16 you've got the Douglas Jungle.
Well, he said the end of September, or, when the weather changed, basically, or
Wait a minute, it changes which way
October.
and stays
Yeah,
that way.
I know. Well, rain is important if he's gonna seed,
Who's gonna seed?
The guy that's this, what's his name, Deb?
I just know Joe from Arbor.
Arbor Alliance, his name is.
And what's he gonna seed?
Well, he's gonna spread that loom for
Okay.
us, all right? And,
Where's he gonna spread it?
rake it where
Just where it
it's-
is, just
yes,
spread it around?
yes,
That
only
section, yeah.
cover,
Okay.
because that soil is really third rate. So it needs, needless to say, it needs to be augmented.
Yeah, it's got nice growth on it.
That's right. So let's hope. He doesn't know how much, and we don't know how much. We just got the truckload. So we have no idea how much the spreading, how much will he get? Will he get a half an inch all over, or will they get an inch over, or whatever? So he can get back to us with that. But,
Introducing
And then fertilizing and seeding, $200 to spread. And make sure that all that growth has been raked out and removed. If we want it fertilized and seeded, there's another 300. He told us that at the beginning of the year, but, you know.
Oh, like in January?
Huh?
Like in January?
No, it was in the spring.
Oh, okay.
But
Before my
you don't
time.
want to do anything in the summer with that, that's all.
Oh,
Not when you fertilize and, because he said then you don't need to water it. You need to just, it'll take care of itself.
well, got plenty of water.
Oh, we've got rain, you know? Rain, rain, rain.
Can't stand it, stand
know.
it, stand it. Okay, is that it on the walkabouts? Anything
Yep.
else? Okay. Next up is other business. I just want to say, it's that time of the year, and looking at my calendar, the water in the Douglas Center Cemetery, which is the only one that has water, is October 9th. Usually we shut it off right after Columbus Day weekend.
Oh,
So that would be the 9th, Tuesday, the day after the 8th. I had,
Whatever they decide, right?
well, I
mean,
have
you
to
give
call
them a
them
heads
with the
up.
date, yes.
We give them a heads up, but I
So,
mean, it's usually,
I had said the end of October, but they explained that, you know, this is New England, we could have snow. So they usually shut
yeah.
all the other water off, outside water off after Columbus Day. So-
that's fine.
Okay. All right, so I'll probably contact the water district on Monday, October 1st.
Yeah. God, right around the corner, you know?
Yeah, it's Monday.
I know.
Okay. Any other old business?
There's something about the metal stakes. I wrote down about the metal stakes. Those metal stakes that hold the flags were
Yeah,
purchased
but
by the
it's-
families to place there. Civil
But
War,
there are,
American
no,
Revolution.
this is not that. These are these metal stakes that people hang plants on.
Those metal
Oh,
stakes,
no, I'm
yeah.
talking about the metal stakes that
The
hold the flags.
veterans and, that- yeah,
Yeah.
no, not those.
No, they'll stay there.
Yeah.
And if they're in the way of the mower, he'll usually
They'll, yeah, no, they'll
stick them in
take
the
them
back.
out, yeah.
No, we're talking about these things.
Oh,
You know, they have swinging lights on them.
oh, yeah, those are down in the new section. I don't.
Yeah, no, not in the old section. Okay, then we can move on to new business. And Betsy, you had looked up some stuff and I went and I looked up some, you know, and you said you wanted it in writing, Shirley?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this, we got three and they
Good,
all
good, good.
basically say the same thing. According to this, there is usually someone, the mayor of every city and the selectmen of every town shall appoint a resident. And what this resident does is the flags that are put down for Memorial Day, for instance, as soon after Memorial Day as possible, they're supposed to go to the cemeteries to take these flags out. The same with Veterans Day and Labor Day. They're not supposed to stay
No.
in there. So, with that being said, I don't know if you want me to hold on to this stuff or you want to hold on to it.
Well, I think that we should pass this information if we want to get something rolling and we,
Well, that
know,
comes the next.
go ahead.
There is no American Legion in the town of Douglas, but there is a Veterans of Foreign War. Justin McCullum is the commander, And this is a letter that I put together, and we can make whatever changes, but a draft letter inviting them to come to our next meeting, seeing if they would come.
And clean them up.
Yeah, I don't know who puts them down.
The Boy Scouts,
Oh, they do?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And the
'cause
reason
then-
that they are left there is because they don't remember who the veterans are from year to year.
Oh,
That's what Ron Tato told me.
Yeah.
And he is the
Yeah.
Veterans Commissioner for the Blackstone Valley.
okay,
So that's where I got that information from.
okay.
So that's
I
why
talked
they
to
stay
Ron
on the
Taper.
graves.
That's correct.
Okay, makes sense.
Because there's no list.
No, this makes sense.
And some of those graves are
But
missing.
if we could put a
or
little,
sunken.
we could a little pressure here.
So
And there's something else that they could do.
otherwise they don't know where to put them for next year.
Well, you know what, that goes to, when that Eagle Scout was at the last meeting,
Mhm.
what cemetery did he want to do?
Douglas Center.
Was it, oh,
Was it Douglas Center? Because he had done,
no, his brother did Douglas Center. He wants to go into Pine Grove.
Oh, okay.
And
That's right.
South Street,
Okay.
and we asked for copies of his when he was done, and his brothers of what he did.
yeah, so maybe in other words, they do have the list now.
And we would
If these
have.
I don't know
young
how he's
people have
gonna-
been working on it.
I mean, he would have to go from grave to grave.
Well, that's what they do, right?
I mean, if, I would say to like meet halfway, if that was the case, then we might be able to make an exception and have, you know, they put it down for Memorial Day. We'll leave them there till, what's the last one, Veterans Day? And then they take them out.
How long is that?
That's a few months. May.
Because Sibley was in the Civil War.
But that's not following the conduct, the code.
No, I understand that. I was just thinking of a compromise, that's
I
all.
also think that they should have a holder.
Well, the
Just
other
put in the
thing,
ground, rots out those wooden stakes, and then they break. And
Then there's flags all over.
Right.
Right, okay, yeah.
the other thing that could be addressed in the, in its place, and I don't know, you'd have to have some viewpoints on this.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a way to illuminate a flag on that property, or all three properties, we
You mean
wouldn't
an
have to
American
worry.
flag.
We wouldn't have to worry.
Well, that would be no problem because you could always get those, what are they, the LED lights? They run on battery.
Well, what I'm saying is, it would
just
have
put
to
a
be,
flagpole in there instead of
Exactly.
have individual flags.
right. Because the etiquette says
The veterans
flag,
like them on their graves, though.
the flag has to be illuminated.
Right,
And there's a way, that's a way to do it,
right.
and it would cut down on all the other, but it would
Yeah,
have to be a
Cragen was a veteran,
conversation,
too.
you know? Because that's the, this, and there's only one person, even the town of Douglas doesn't illuminate its flags.
No, I know they don't.
There's one resident that does. So apparently, you know, what we're saying is one resident knows how to treat the flag. So, it's up to us as to where we want to proceed with this. We've got, you say you're going to invite, you're going to, you haven't yet.
No, I
No,
just
all right,
put
that's
that
good. This is
together.
together. All right. Okay, she's already put miniature flags that will delineate it from having a flagpole, an illuminated flagpole. And it would have to be discussed. I'm sure that they would have to have their discussion.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they say, if the Boy Scouts, well, why can't the people, or why aren't the people who put them in taking them out?
I'm sure they're gonna mention that, yeah. So, do you wanna leave it to the military organizations? Do you wanna leave it to the cemetery commission? Or do you wanna leave it to the Boy Scouts? I'm talking about for the future.
I know.
It seems like in,
It just seems
In
like
my
a very
idea-
touchy situation.
Well, because I think the veterans will be very upset if we take the flags off their graves.
yeah, but they have to come off.
I mean, I understand at the end of the year, but I think that if we say that there's no flags to be placed there at all, I think that
They
they'd be
do
very
that,
upset.
but Betsy, they do that with other cemeteries. Veterans, other cemeteries, you go down to all of them.
Arlington has flags.
The one.
I will tell you
well,
that.
The
Arlington-
National Cemetery.
But Arlington may have
New
a,
York had them.
Yep.
There-
Warren has
I-
them too.
no, but they're probably illuminated.
No, they're not.
Well, then they have a special dispensation, or they have a special whatever for the etiquette.
I know the
Because the
national,
etiquette is that they have to come down at night.
the national cemeteries.
That's, I think that might only go to a flag that's on a flagpole or a certain size.
All I know is the national cemeteries down by where I used to live, they did have, when you first pulled into the cemetery, they had a big one on a flagpole that was illuminated. But for Memorial Day and Veterans Day, they put miniature flags.
Yeah, but they have to, there's a certain time they have to come down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying they did too, put little ones, and they weren't
Because there's never a
illuminated.
flag at that Uxbridge St. Mary's when I go there.
That's a Catholic cemetery. St. Denis doesn't have a flag either.
No. But they have a groundskeeper.
There they are. All the flags in Arlington.
But they, because they're DC,
Right,
they may have a different,
but they're not illuminated.
Arlington's not in D.C. Isn't it in
Arlington.
Virginia?
Yeah, well, it's
Oh,
right
yeah.
around in that area.
Yeah, it's
I'm
on
not
the-
so sure
on
that's
the-
right.
border. Yeah.
But they have flags on all their veterans' graves. Every single one has one. And there's nothing there to hold them.
Well, they have the very best of people to take care of those cemeteries, too. You know, we don't have anyone. That's the problem. I just don't think it's very respectful to see those flags in that
Well, falling
condition.
down, no, but
I mean, they're all
I
faded.
think if the Boy Scouts are going to put the flags on there, that they should be somewhat maintained. Make sure that they're standing, make sure that the grave that it is sitting in is the proper one. Do a little research on the person that's there.
So
Was
what's
he
the,
in the Revolution?
what's the time frame that they can stay on the grave?
According to these, what I made of them, this one here, when should small flags displayed on graves, this one says on Memorial Day, but I looked and it says the same for any holiday. All Legion posts should follow the practice of removing flags from veterans' graves as soon as possible after Memorial Day.
Yep.
Okay. That's that one. Now comes,
Because usually it's like a week or 10 days.
do not use, if the flag is on a flagpole, it must fly half-staff until noon on some dates such as Memorial Day, Patriot Day, Firefighters Memorial Day, and Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. If the flag is not on a flagpole but is a hand-placed flag, remove it on the next day and store it neatly and ceremoniously.
I don't take my mother's down. I don't take my mother's down.
Yeah, people use them as decoration and.
No,
and-
she has a flag that
Okay,
she got.
so
No, what I'm
that's
just saying,
that
it's,
one.
they
They're
put them in their
arborvitae.
gardens, they.
Yeah, I
use-
don't put them.
but they use them as decorations. Debbie has ones on her house. She never takes it in.
I never take it in and I don't illuminate it. I'm bad.
Yeah, you are.
I know. Considering I almost broke my neck putting that flag in the spring, I'm sorry. I'll get the kid next door to come and stand with a flashlight.
All right, so what they're saying is it comes down to.
Basically,
Basically,
Before
within
winter,
a-
maybe by winter,
that's what,
to have someone go around and collect all the flags and bring, and I put them
Well,
where?
before, well, I tell you what happens with us over the past years, with these dilapidated pieces, you're supposed to burn them.
I give them to the fire station. That's what I do.
Well,
But
what
the
I'm
flag-
saying
The fire
is
station
that
has a
we,
ceremony every year for
that's
burned
right.
flags,
He
worn
does.
flags.
Yeah.
but we don't, at least I haven't. I pick them up, take them home, and stick them in a container and burn them. And they're
Okay.
all broken.
I ask you this, what about, again, like I stated before, as a because first of all, they can't afford, the Boy Scouts, I'm sure, to buy flags each
Every
time.
year. Nope.
So,
But the veterans pay for them.
okay,
So that's okay. So
the,
when we have our conversation with this person,
the American Legion,
There is a
Okay.
veterans agent for Uxbridge and Whitensville and Douglas. Maybe that's the person to contact, because he does all the veterans.
do you know his name?
He's in Uxbridge right now. Ron Tatro used to be it.
yeah. he
Is
did.
it Justin McCullum? Because this
No.
veterans is out of Uxbridge, because he's the commander, who's the other guy? But it's Dennis Zivkak. Sergeant at Arms or something like that.
Director Anne Marie Cleary, address Town Hall, 21 South Main Street, Uxbridge. The Blackstone Valley Veterans Association is on 875 Hill Street.
That's in Worcester?
No, that's in
Oh.
Whitensville. Blackstone Valley Veterans Association.
Is there a phone number?
234-9808.
234-9808. Name of a contact person?
Let's see, they have a website, and what does it say? Blackstone Valley Veterans. Drop off all your old worn-out flags in the box on the front door of the veterans. We will ensure that they are retired properly and according to U.S. Flag Code 4 U.S. The group meets on the first Saturday of the month at 10 a.m. at the Northbridge Veterans Hall. These are the Blackstone Valley veterans.
Okay, so you know what?
Involvement.
Where's that letter? Can I see this a minute, please? This is the same place.
Okay.
This is the yeah,
Yeah, same contact.
okay.
All right.
So, does everybody like the way this is worded?
Yeah, I don't have a problem. What do you think?
Just meeting, I don't think they have to come to several meetings.
Okay. There's, oh, right, okay.
Plural.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'll redo this and then I'll bring it to you to sign,
Yeah.
okay? All right.
And we could run it by someone like that about having a flagpole in each cemetery. We could at least bring it to their attention, you know?
It's a flagpole on the common, I would think that would work.
Is that illuminated?
I don't know, I don't go out at night.
Yes,
You
you
should
do.
know. You should
I don't go out at night.
You don't, all you gotta do is walk out your front door and look.
That's too far away. All the Manning bushes are in the way. I don't think it is though.
Because they have one
The
down.
common's
No,
all
it's
lit up
not.
though, so I mean, it is,
Yeah.
the whole common is
Illuminated.
illuminated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say
But
specifically.
does it stay on all the time at night?
I don't know, it is when I go by at 10
Okay, all right,
o'clock, so I
okay,
don't know what
all right.
time it goes off.
Yeah, you don't, no, it may be on a timer, you know.
I don't know.
Do they get their own bill too, the common committee, for electric, like we get for water?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They have a sprinkler system. Yeah.
Okay, the last thing on the new business, I just put this down in case anybody had any kind of ideas what we could do. Full cleanup?
For cleaning up the cemeteries.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up some of the stones. I do have a group of people that is going to help me.
Oh, I didn't mean the stones. That's your project and.
That's my project.
You just, like we had said at the meeting, I don't know if it was the last meeting or what, you're gonna keep us
I
up
don't want
to
the mowers
date.
to keep mowing over them.
No, so you'll keep us up to date though, right, on what
Yeah.
you do with the stones? No, this is kinda like, when you
Raking
dig
leaves.
flowers and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that. They can do that.
Christmas trees?
Nope, not touching any of those things. Those don't belong to me. Where people put on their graves is their business. I do have a piece of new business, though. I think that it would be prudent of us to write a letter to Adam Furno to say thank you for the work that he did down
Yeah,
there.
I agree.
I was just, well, I'll put a letter together, but
Yep.
I was also going to say, I wanna thank Adam and his 2 sons and his daughter for coming down to the cemetery.
Because I don't want anything to deter people from volunteering their time in the
Oh,
cemeteries.
no.
Christine, get her key?
Normally,
It's in her box.
Great.
Yes,
normally,
it's in
we
her
do
box.
commend at the end of the year in our report. You know, it's like
I think a
the
note
Cub
would be nice.
Scouts or the
Okay.
Boy Scouts. Whoever's done,
I'm a good little English woman.
huh?
I'm a good little English
Oh.
woman.
I was raised the same way. No, we can do that also. Do you know his children's names?
I do not.
Okay.
All right. Geez, you already went ahead with the next meeting date? Boy, oh boy.
It's easy to do 2 at a time.
10:24.
10:24, okay, all right. The next thing.
Is that a Wednesday?
Yes.
Is that, yeah?
Because that was my fault. I thought that I had, because normally I email Chris Furno the next day, and I thought I had, and I didn't.
Didn't, okay.
And by the time I realized it,
I
so,
know. That's fine.
secretarial report, I don't have anything. Except that, because of the time that I went down to Douglas Center Cemetery with John and Adam Furno, because we had to add, create new graves, the corrected deeds were sent,
Okay,
one of which was mine,
okay,
but I just kept it in my folder.
good.
As far as the financial report goes, okay, Betsy, I need your Joanne Hancock. This is a voucher for the water district. We received a bill for $59.50. $50 is the basic water charge, and $9.90 is for water consumption. And the other voucher is for A&B lawn mowing and plow services for the amount of $1,450 for the mowing of the 3 town cemeteries on 9/13.
Are they all done now?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, all done mowing for the
Yes.
season? I don't know. In all likelihood, I would say yes.
I would too. Do they plow the cemeteries?
No,
No.
Good.
we don't have anyone.
Oh, somebody
Unless they
plows
want
it.
to. If there's a
They plow
burial,
it.
if there's a burial, yeah.
No, they plow it anyway, because I drive through there in the winter. Maybe the town plows it. Yeah, it's always plowed out.
Okay. And this one.
$1,450. That's for 3 cemeteries.
Yep,
So what's the total bill for the year?
For a fiscal year?
1450, so they do it how many times?
Well,
Eight-
so
about 8
far,
times a
so
year.
far, wait a minute. we've
1450
had-
per 8, for,
they do
1,
it,
2,
yeah,
3, 4.
depending on the rain.
We've had 4 mowings this fiscal period so far.
and they're all the same amount?
Yes.
Okay. That's plenty.
Okay. Okay. And that's it.
All right, and that date's okay with everyone?
Yep.
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:06.
Second.
Good
We don't
evening,
have to-
everyone.